Okay. Maybe. So, there we go. Maybe. Okay, cool. Okay, welcome. Alright, it's Thursday? Okay, cool. What do I want? I want to do this. Put it on Twitter, put it on Discord. There we go. Okay. Looking good. Usually that's about it. Because then the Discord is now automatically seeing that it's, oh boy. And I'm using my stream box, so it is able to automatically put me in streamer mode. That's good. Okay. Good. Oh, reloaded it. Oh, that was quick. Don't reload it. Oh, okay. Hi. Welcome. Doing a little bit hard. I'm just in a weird place where it's like everything's kind of coming to a kind of a narrow place. What does that mean? I don't know. But I've just been a little hard to concentrate, or I'm just concentrating too hard on things and really take care of myself. So that got real. Okay, let's draw a horse. I've just been too focused on trying to do projects that I feel like when I'm a little bit slower, things are going on. It's like it's hard to get back on the horse. Here we go. Okay. How are you guys doing? Oh yeah, I added some hair, but that's just a little test. It's not really gonna be anything. It's not a character. I mean, it could be. I mean, there might be a Pony Life character that's like this, and I'm making it too accurate. But I thought people were talking about like, where's the hair? It's like it's coming later, but this is just really to really see if I can layer it right, which it isn't layered right. So that's the thing. Let's see. Hang in there. Thank you. I'll do my best, but yeah, everything's been really stressful, and it's just like all mental, just like everything that's. Because I'm working on Midnight Mirrors, and that's been a little tricky with slight creative differences. It's like I want it one way, and then Gan says it like, well, how about it's not that way? Just do it the right way, which is his way. So I was like, but I think my way's objectively better. So I was like, how do I say like, yeah, it's gonna be better if, I don't know. Because now I'm thinking like, well, maybe his way is right, but it's like, for me, it's like, that's the way that I already set it up, and that'll be more trouble to fix it now. So, and then with the Derpy project, that's kind of going, realizing just how big the project is as well. That even if I finished 100 seconds or so of the animation, there's still a lot more to do. Like, I'm only focusing on like the principal animation of like the 3 main characters of Derpy and the 2 snakes. And then I realized, like, wait a minute, I have like these secondary characters that also have to move and create those characters and what their model is, and create this whole like setup for them, and then realize that, oh wait, then I have to have a crowd scene and then have those also move around and then put those into 3D as well and making sure that they're unique characters and stuff like that, and then going, and then that's not even gonna be the half of it either, where I have to do then edit it and then post-production stuff. So it's like I'm nowhere near done with the third part. So even if I spend like 2 months just working on just the background, the 3D model, it'll be important later on. But for now, it's just like, oh my god, just so much. So, okay. Just gotta take a break because I've been working all day. Okay. Yesterday too. It's been working longer hours, but also like sleeping less, so my mind and eyes are freaking out. So let's draw a horse. All right, here we go. How we doing? So what I did last time in between, let's see, there you go. I drew some mouth substitutions. I drew some more. I think we only got up to like, I guess I could just go through them. So now she has more mouths. Let's see. Is that working? We got up to here. I don't think we added like the TH. It's supposed to be like when she goes like the, you put your tongue in between your teeth. So that's it's not something that usually happens in anime, but you gotta do it. Here's a fifth for F's and V's. So for French fries, you want to use this mouth for the fifth. It's like you're pulling your lip back and goes woo. Or for V's too. A little bit mouth that I realized that didn't work. And then some frowns. It's a little pout. So I did these all off stream, I think on Tuesdays or Wednesday. I just drew a couple of these, mainly just making these words were simple. Because I just elongated the black outline and then just shimmied the inner parts in. Make that bigger and then do, I guess I realized I wanted a bigger L, which would have been up here. Yeah, this is a smaller L, so I added a bigger one in case that needed to happen. Now I should be able to talk somewhat. I do need a couple more. I need the TH and then fifth, which I didn't get around to. Because I was tired by that point. Because I was working on other things. So let's see. Hello. Hi guys. See you then. Also realized that with the layering of the hair, it probably should be in front, but then the ear wouldn't work. I'm still baffled of how they even, because I'm looking at the references and it's like some of them, I believe from like the first trailer that they had, their eyes being on top of the hair, which is what I did for the first Derpy one. That's even like one of the first thumbnails of this project. Where I had the eyes be on top of the hair. So let's see if I can get to eyes. So this is everything that's eyes related. So what I did was if you care about Toon Boom, put everything inside of a composite. So now everything all here kind of redirects into a composite, which means that it's kind of like a group, but it's kind of not condensed as a group. You can still play with it. And then that leads into a head composition as well, and then it goes to the output. And these other parts are like the mouth, nose, horn, ear, skull, and other ear. So I'm trying to figure out, like, maybe I could rearrange this chord here and then move between, like, the hair and stuff, which is the hair's here. So I probably could figure out a way to... Because the problem is that I want from top to bottom, let's make a thing, maybe, or like a drawing layer. I figured out how to do my brush better. There was a pen setting that I had that was a little bit off, that I had to like push really hard and then it started. So now I made it so I could do a lot less, 0% effort. So anyway. Okay, so from the top view, you would have horse and then eyes and then hair and then ear. So the hair needs to go underneath the hair. Let's go like that. It's another ear. So for the eyes to be on top of the hair, that works. But the way that I have these things with the eyebrows, the way that I set these up is that it can go up and down. I may have two of them. So this one has a longer or a bigger thing to it. So you can see like the aqua blue part, I have like two substitutes. So one's like bigger than the other one. So in case I need to move this down, then it won't get clipped if I make it the other one. So I can move this down further. I don't know exactly how I like actually set it up, honestly. I would like mask somehow inside of the eyeball. So only the blue part of the eyeball is actually being clipped. So I put it up here, you can only see the black eyebrow part. So somehow I split up, I did this so fast. I split up the color line art, which the color line is the blue part, and then the line art, which is as that. So the line art is just on top, I think, and then the color line is just the color part. And then that goes into a mask that goes between, I think, the whole eyeball or something. Yeah, goes into the head comp, and then the other part it goes into the composite or something. So it's able to only be inside of there, which doesn't quite make sense, but obviously one didn't have an eyebrow there. But this just also means that I can put it up here if I want it, and it works. So problem is that I have any eyeball on top, which means that the eyelid is also on top. So I'm trying to figure out now how to go about that, and I think it might be better to have the eyebrows be below the hair, which should be simple of just moving the layer hierarchy. I'm trying to figure out. So that's what I'm trying to figure out so far. It's the biggest thing that I'm seeing so far. But let's see. I forgot context. Yeah, hair is just replace order, just so I can see like how this all works. That if I were to add another hair, if I added like an actual hair on top, then how would it react? So without it, I can't do all these place order or fixer up things like that. Mm-hmm. So it's like a base above the base utters in style. Yes. So once I have like everything set up, I can then make a new one, save as, and then change this palette, which obviously I can do right now, and then change it into whatever color I want, and all these parts are all synergized, which means that I can just change it into a different color and then add the hair on top, and then be completely new pony. So the base just makes it way easier than trying to recreate everything that I've just done for about a month. If I had to like really want to do this the hard way of doing this would be, I want Rainbow Dash, so I want to create everything here and everything that I've worked on, and then I want Pinkie Pie. Well, let me just start over and then create Pinkie Pie. So what I'm doing is creating everything here, making sure that that's everything possible that it needs, which would be this full library of mouths, and I got blinks and everything. Even got like animated with the blink. It goes through the mouth cycle, and a little like animation at the end going whoa. So if it didn't have any of that, then I would have to recreate it every time. So I'm just covering my bases with everything with the base, apparently. So just making sure that I have everything that I can think of that would possibly be needed, and then going forward with making a character. So yeah, it's a base. So it's just an animated puppet base. So obviously if you're doing like hand-drawn animation, then you would have to draw Rainbow Dash and then start over from blank slate and then draw Pinkie Pie. So with this, it's efficient. I wouldn't say it's cheating, but it is a somewhat of a not the hardest way you could do this. It's being just trying to get it somewhat efficient in a way there. So yeah, cutie mark. It's the CM. Just to say, it's not really supposed to be anything legit right now. But yeah, I can already see like just how many, just with some expressions that we already have, we can change it into a lot of different things now and have her talk. So that's just what I want. Is just have enough things that I can get dirty with it and then animate it without having to think like, do I have this mouth, or am I able to blink with this character? It's like just put them all into everything that I need now and then just kind of go with it. But I'm thinking I might want to, let's do a test. What if, no, it won't work. Okay, my process was I could recolor the aqua part, which is the skin color, I guess, coat color, into the darker color, which is like this color. I'm gonna see if that works or like looks good, but now I'm thinking, nah. Or I could have one where it doesn't have that. So that's why I'm all these like different drawing substitutions also come into play, is that I could just duplicate it, go to color line, and then recolor it into eyeshadow, and now it's recolored. And then do it for the other one, duplicate it, find it, and then color it in. Alright, wrong color. There we go. So now they're both colored that. So now they should work like that. Okay, cool. So now we gotta do a new one of this, and then recolor that, and then do this one, and then find it. Where'd it go? And then color that in. So now it should go whoop. Okay, so it goes 3, 2, 3, and then I have a lot of duplicates. So 3, 4, 3. Okay. So this one, why don't I have? I need to duplicate this one, which means that 2 should actually be this, but now I'm gonna say please go to 4. Okay. Bop, bop, bop. Maybe that works. And then I can have one of it just being the eyebrows. So let's see. Key mark, heater mark portfolio is pretty much right then. Yeah, it'd be so weird. What if your talent was just to be a placeholder? Like you're not really actually special or somehow? Oh no. Okay. That'd be the dark version. Okay. And then give me a new one of this one and then delete it. Actually no. This one. Oh yeah, be the same, so I don't need this one. Let's edit and then delete it. There you go. Okay. And then I want it to be 3. Extend it. So now it goes 3, 4, 3. Good. And now I have an alternate where I could have it be this one, or if I need it to be like up or something, I guess. Where I can have it be on top, maybe, and do that. That'd be fun. Okay, cool. Put it back. Cool. Okay. Let's see. So I want another one. Oh yeah, I want to make this one, find it, and then get rid of that. Okay, so now they both should have that. Okay, just adding more options so everything should be more flexible, obviously, and have more stuff to do with that. Let's see. He tells me the stationary model. Oh boy. You're just a puppet. Meant to be replaced by something else. Like, you're not gonna this pony is not gonna exist in any of the stuff unless I make it, obviously, but this will just be kept its only purpose is to be recolored and to be different characters. That's why I said, like, last time, I think I said, like, oh, well, this character will be like Mew from Pokemon, and it's like the genetic formula for every other pony. Like, it'll contain every genetic part that other ponies will have. So oh boy. What do I want? Oh yeah, I wanted to figure out how to do the hair. Just for now. I think it'd be fun to figure that out. Is that I could figure out how to get the hair. I don't know. The problem is I don't know how to do it. Or how to do it effectively. One thing I thought of was that it could be... It's going to be a lot of masks. But it's going to be a lot of, yeah, just cutting around to see how to... cut it up so I can have the hair be on top of everything with that little demonstration that I had. Let's bring that back. So with demonstration, let's have it be instead have the hair. Can I select it? Hair? No? Maybe? Please? No? Oh, it's because it's on there. Okay. Wrong layer. So I'm going to have the hair be on top and then be masked. That's cute. So I can be masked behind the ear, which just means that the ear would cut the hair and then it'll be on top of the eyes. This doesn't make any sense, but hopefully it'll make sense once I get to it. Let's see. Oh boy. powerful. So I made an AI system that generates pony avatars from different sources. This pony's lost a foot. Whoa. Oh yeah, I think I've heard of that. Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, people made that that human one, where it's like this person doesn't exist. So I guess you could somehow teach a robot to do that. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know, would that be useful? It'd just be like rating an OC, but it'd be better to just, you know, create it yourself, be handcrafted. I think that'd be important. So what I want to do is move this cord over to the left to be on top, which is what our diagram says. So like that. So now, hair should be on top of everything. So that works. But we don't want it to be on top of everything, because we want it to be below the ear. Like the hair is being, you can't really see it. The hair needs to be behind the ear, but it's still like, it can still be in front of your face, but then it can also be behind it. So it exists in two places, I guess, or two different places if we put a cutter. Cutter just means masks. If you're familiar with Flash, masks are basically the same thing. So, okay. Does that work? Now we need the mask that needs to be, oh, the ear. That's what we want. So the ear goes under there, and yay! Okay, that works. Oh, it works perfect. Awesome. Okay. I was so afraid that the eyelash or something would be wrong. But I was like, yeah, that works. Okay. The only problem with that is I have to be careful that the eyebrows are below it. But we could add another... would that even work? Could I separate the eyebrow line art? That's this. Where is it? Eyebrow line art. And say, maybe add it to a different composite, or we just put it in here. Bop. There we go. So if we want to do like weird anime style, where now the eyebrow can be on top. So now it can still sort of rest. If we have the hair, you know, not with that kind of a shape, we could have it be below that, while also existing up here and still be shown like that to have a weird expression. So that's something. I don't know if I'll go with that. It is a little bit weird, but I think that'd be enough of a possibility to get fun with that. Let's find the other one. Eyebrow line art. Follow the cord. And then we'll put it underneath the other one. Bop. So now it'll do the same thing. Okay, so that'll just be up to how we design the hair. Like if we want it to be a little bit higher up or something. Or the horn might be also need to be figured out as well. So you can just probably do the same thing and just put it on top. Which probably be rested more better once we actually do a nice hair style onto it. So that works, I guess. Maybe I'll just put it back below. Alright, let's see which one it was. Yeah, put it below. Oh, it needs to be below hair. There we go. Let's leave it for that. There. That line is the horn, I guess. So, hopefully we'll just play with Pegasus and Earth Ponies. Okay. And then this one actually works because it is behind the ear and we can just be careful how we draw it. But I think that'll work. Okay. How many people are still here? How many people understand anything that just happened? Who can say, like, in summarize of what we just did? Because I'd be interested to see, like, how many people are paying attention to even what I'm doing, or if it's just so... Yeah, like I might be going too fast or something. I don't know. Let's see. Oh yeah, we could focus on doing the other parts, like the... Instead of focus on the head, we could work on the body parts, like the legs, and then maybe the wings. If we want to do the... If we want to do Derpy, we'll definitely need to figure out how to make her fly, just because walk cycles are lame. But wing cycles, where is that? Let's see. Only do traditional as much. Okay, as much as it goes over my head. Table 11, interesting. That's gay. Okay. So you have, yeah, traditional, even just digital traditional, True Digital still has probably not as complicated of this. What even this is. And other Flash users and stuff just have no idea what even this how do you even start looking at this and go, you look at this and go, yes, let me just follow this and understand something. I mean, I got a box that says eyes and then stuff happens, and yeah, it's weird with that end. But with this, it's like, oh, you get a cute horse. So that's all that matters. Okay. Good vibe check with that. Thank you. That's super paying attention. Okay, that's fair. Let's work on. Yeah, let's do a wing cycle. I think it'd be interesting. Let's see. What was it? Budget class. Oh no. I'm sorry. I don't think I've directly addressed it, so I'll say that. What was it? What's this? Oh, this is the other drawing I just made today. That's that drawing. Okay. Is this weapon more complex than a regular chippy, or is it? Or I need a rainbow puppet. Rainbow puppets are made in Flash, so that automatically makes it somewhat simpler. Obviously, just have rainbow and then just kind of have it not have the node view. Then this puppet is simpler. The way that the rainbow puppets, to start with that, they have the eyeballs. Select, line, draw. There you go. They have the eyeballs be inside of a symbol, which you can think of a symbol as a container or a box. So imagine like a pail, and then you put stuff into it, and you have a whole bunch of stuff into it, and then it becomes a symbol. So the symbol of the eyeball had each part into it, and it's horrible. But you can imagine each part being like, this is one part, and then this being one part, and then this being one part. And then you put eyelashes and everything, and then you put that inside of a symbol. So now this is inside of a symbol, but oh wait, you need two eyes. So you just duplicate it, and now you have two eyeballs in two separate symbols that each contain a lot of information. But what if, you know, obviously you need one more thing to have the outer eyeball. But what if, you know, you're going around and going like, ha! So you want to change an eyeball or have it blink or whatever. What you need to do is go inside the head. This is fun. You need to, one, double click on the double click on the eyeball, and then you get inside, and then you move eye, and then you go out. So now you're on the head level, and then you want to move the other eyeball, and then you have to click on the eye, and then you click and move the other eye, and then you go out. And then you have to imagine that for every keyframe, and every time that they both have to move, you have to go inside it, move out, go and click on the other eye, move the eye, and then move out. So just based on how they set it up like that, takes 6 steps at least to animate 2 keyframes of both eyes moving. So it's definitely not as efficient, but it makes it just simple it makes sense to the degree of that they're parts, they're body parts, there need to be groups. It's a group. It's a whole bunch of things that need to be grouped together. So the eyeball is one part, and then the other eyeball is a separate part. So it makes sense. But to an animator, you have to do all of that thing. So every time I want to move a keyframe or move the eyeball, so you can imagine like I need to move the eyeball, so I need to double click. Let me move and select the eyeballs, and then I move it, and then make a keyframe. Then we go back out, click outside, select the eyeball, add a keyframe, and move it over, and then go back out. So, so that's what I had to do with Double Rainbow, is that it was horrible. It was just not animation friendly with that way. is the most thing that I got out of that, which made me realize that there has to be a simpler way to do this, which goes back to here where it's like everything's automatically in Toon Boom flatter, in a sense that there are no symbols in the same way as Flash does, where they're not exactly in a group, but with the node view you can group things together, but that's just putting the nodes together. It doesn't actually make it a group, unless you parent them together in a chain. So that's the only way you can really do things. I mean, you can, yeah. So if I like click and B to click on outer things, nodes can be parented together down a chain, which means that I can move multiple instances. Like I wanted to move like both eyes, and I can do this, and then I can move both eyes. So that's all I have to do. Obviously, it's a couple clicks to get from here, but that's not as hard as what I've explained with the 6-part thing to be able to move eyes. So it's simpler in that sense as well, but everything else is also pretty simple. There's not as many ways with the body to make it much more complicated. You could have the legs be multiple parts, so you can have like curves in the case of Toon Boom. But the Rain Boom puppets they had them in 3 parts as well. So, so I can select this one maybe. So the legs were like in 3 parts. So you have a leg, which let me draw that a little better. So we'd have like a leg part here, and then a leg part there. So each of these would be separate parts, and then those will go up. And then you just have to like rotate each part, and then it was just like this toe part was also weird. So it was hard to animate it with that way as too. So with this one, I just made it like 1 part, and then we could just have different frames of it being bent. I think with the Paper Derpy one, Paper Derpy movie, I'm redesigning the legs to now just have drawing substitutions rather than it being whatever this is, of having multiple joints compared to making specific poses. It's more traditional in that sense, that you're not you're drawing the parts to be these certain poses. Like I could have a new leg pose. I don't know how you would select it. I think I'm on the other part. How do you just select the drawing? Still learning. Okay. So instead of having try to bend 3 different parts, or even just 2 parts to then be, you know, out there, and then have this one down there, and then another one to be a bent leg, so every time when I move it, you could just have it actually just be drawn as if it was bent, and then you want to have it be in that pose, and you just do the same thing with the mouths, where you just have different frames. I'm not having to manually edit or manually twist and turn different parts around, or multiple parts. Rather, I just made parts that become different poses that I can just swap out. So I'm gonna go with this kind of method rather than this, just because from what I've seen of the Pony Life cartoon, that there are more pose to pose and very snappy. Like they're just kind of moving their arms and going whoa whoa, and translating it and rotating the entire arm, rather than it being like this elaborate like elbow shoulder rotations. So I would say that that's probably more safer to go with than this way, which I believe, I don't know, I don't remember if the G4 legs were more like this, where it had obviously that doesn't work. It had different parts to the leg, so you know. Hopefully any of this made sense now. Animation's hard, and don't do animation, kids. Let's see. Yeah, the count was just to figure out just like how many pieces and like steps to do. That was crazy. So, and I learned from that to say like that's technically the way that it should be by definition, that the eyes should be part of a group. So you have it as a group. but then you're not able to animate it as fluidly, especially not like this, where you can just literally just bop, 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 and then you go, whoa, everything's moving at the same time and everything's okay, you know? So you can create different expressions with that, so, you know. The door. Well, if everything, you know, going on, we're not able to be separate anymore, so it'll be my parents. We got a nice, we have very squeaky doors. So you wanna listen to those doors and kind of figure out where I live? Maybe you can. I don't know. Let me see. Get rid of all that. Oop. And see where this is, and then find it. I will find you, and I will delete you. Okay. Bop, bop, bop. Bop, 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 bop. Okay. Let's do the wings. It's gonna be more fun. Okay. Let's do that. And then maybe also we can. We'll have to see. Because the horn is weird. If we want to get into that, the horn will be situational. But it would be nice to have it just as a loop, which might only be like a couple frames. But I think the wings would be more important if I, especially if I do Derpy, where she has to fly. So, it'd be important to do that. So let's do that. Okay. Let me just get my references. How we doing? Let's do another vibe check or something, whatever people call it. Okay. It doesn't matter what order it is, but I just need to make them work. Okay. Hey, I love my parents. They're the best. Okay. So I believe that both of these use the same, let me just go to a blank. Or duplicate it. Yeah. So I have two wings that are one behind each other. So I'm able to use that pretty effectively. Because then, obviously, they'll blink at the same rate. So I could just use two and then just modify this into a wing flap. And then we'll go from there, and then we'll have something. Okay, so might want to do, just delete this, and then I'm going to go on a lower layer and make a guide, and then just kind of draw. I think there's like 4 or 5 frames, so shouldn't take too long. Won't be too elaborate. It'll probably just be on 2s as well. So I think it's only like 4 or 5 frames. Okay, let's see. Let's get going. Okay, so that's the fly 1. I can't change picture when it's zoomed in, of course. So that's that. Bop, 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 bop. So that's all the way down. Going up, up, down, down, and then there's down. Okay, making sure my references were in good order. Yeah, my parents. That was interesting. What do we want? Can't see. Yeah, so I usually tell them to, you know, I tell them what I'm doing with this, so they know about it, but they can't, you know, always help themselves or know exactly how to be the most quiet. So let's see. I'm gonna just have a curve here and then figure it out what I want. So do like down pose or something, and then I can fill this in with the different parts. So we have thingy here, and then this goes down, and it kind of goes pretty much just straight up and curve out a little bit. Okay. And so I could just make this a little bit. Oh, they're the same color. Let's make this blue or something. Or grow screen. What would work best? That works. Okay. And then we'll want. How do I usually draw these? Yeah, let's use pen. Pen's easy to fun. Easy one to do. Okay. Let's not do a hairline. Let's see. Pencil 2. Let's try maybe 10. With that. Go with that. Delete that. And then pop. That'll do. Let's make it black. Okay. I think we'll be ready to go. Okay. So another one there. So this one should be that one, and that should be that one. am I able to see how thick this line is? It is 10. Okay, so when I go to here, I can also select this and see that's also 10. So that's good. Okay. That's where it gets complicated, just because it's like, it's only really complicated at the beginning, where you have to like set everything up. But then it's just like, I'll just bop, 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 and then we're good. Oh boy. Mm-hmm. Never have your volume on max, unless you have actually something going on. Even like my phone says, like, don't have your volume on max. It's like, it might be dangerous. Oh no. Be careful. Okay. As long as each of these kind of like fit, I'm not too worried about anything else. Let's add the. Oh, that's weird. What are you doing, lines? So let's add another polyline that's like this one, but like 8 or something, and then we can fill it in with the smaller lines that go there. That's not exactly as thin as I would like it to be. Bop, bop. I just connect them. So from there to there, and then just kind of connect it there to be easier. And then like that. Okay. And then we bend these out. So these be like the wings. Obviously they're all wings, but it's just like the wing parts, I guess. Okay. And then, I know. Fill this out with that. And then we can just color it in. That'll be one frame. With this one. There you go. We get here. And then delete that. And there we go. Okay. And then if we want to get real picky, we can go to each of these little things and say, hey, how about no? How about no line there? How about you go over there? How about you go there? How about you get more curved? Okay. So now we go whoop whoop. Let's see. So obviously it's not going to be... Could move all this and just kind of make it seem like it's coming from the same point. Like I could, yeah. It could still be down, but it could still like be where maybe that is, or maybe it could be... I don't know. I'm thinking myself a little bit. As long as it's all kind of same place, I think it'd be good. Okay. Okay. Does that work? Sure. Because I can like change it later with the positions. Just trying to get the pictures good. That's one. And then here's 2. If I reference, well, that's a fun one. This is like a breakdown or like reverse up or something. So now it's gonna go from there to there, and then new, and then let's go there and then there, and then we're gonna brushes in. Okay, how we doing? Womp. Let me just get that out of the way. Okay. It's not a line, it's gonna be from there, it's gonna be like more straight out. So it's gonna be bending up more. It's gonna be over there. Okay. Bend it maybe. So it'll be more of an extreme there. Okay. Okay. So now it's trying to bend up. Upward there. Okay. How we doing? Mm-hmm. Let's see. Just reading your stuff now. Washing machine's awesome. Mm-hmm. PSAs, yeah. I guess I would just say to parents, like, yeah, you should be learning these certain certain things. Like cartoons, you know, they get a rot your mind, so you better learn something from them to like make you encourage you to actually watch them and then pay for the merchandise. I mean, that's all just really cartoons at the end of the day. It's like they're just made to, at least in the 80s, definitely they were made to just promote the toys. So they didn't have as much passion. Don't want to be too definitive with it, but obviously the main goal, even if Pony at Gen 1, was just to make toys. So it's like, make it seem at least a little bit more credible if it's trying to teach you something, I guess. Then the PSAs were there. Bop. Bop. And then bop. Which could go out a little bit more. And then bop. 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 Okay. So that'll do with that. So it'll be a little bit up. Could be bent upward here a little bit. So this curve should go higher up like that. I feel like this whole line here. That works. Okay. I'll go for it. 60 days were pretty bad. Yeah. And they weren't really creator driven or anything like that. Where it's just like, yeah, just can you make a profit out of it? And it's like, yes, you go for it. Rather than having anything useful or important to say or be valued in any way. Of course, they're always diamond and rough. Is like, yeah, they don't really, on the whole, back then actually do anything. That were just either for entertainment or the entertainment was just to make you buy a lunchbox. So, which is sadly always true today. Like, you always got the cross promotions of everything. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How many pony puppets do you think I've made? Pony puppets, interesting. I want to talk like models because I don't know exactly how many characters I've made. Cause that'd be a lot more. That's probably in the at least 100. Over a lifetime, just how many characters I've made would probably be over 100. For bases, I would say not too many, but I definitely made a bunch. Or I made just small tweaks to things as I go, so it feels like a new character or a new base, just because it's like a different style. But I usually kind of just, as you see from my cartoons, I kind of just stay in one style for quite a while, just for the sake of, look how long this takes to make. Got an argument. To make a new style of character is that it does take, as we see here, just how much time it takes to make just one base. So by that reason as well, now it's just like milk it, you know, with that base as much as you can. Is what I've kind of took to. Is just like, if I can make 100 characters, you know, using one base, then great, you know, because obviously trying to make a new base every month or whatever would take a certain amount of time away from actually making content or making different characters using a certain base or a certain character style. So, I think just thinking about the different eras going through my mind of just how many different types of characters I've made. Character styles. Said that. Okay. Really focusing, sort of. Because I didn't exactly make the double rainbow puppets, so I wouldn't call that my own style, or one that I made. But definitely one that I used a bunch. I might have modified it somewhat. I don't remember changing it too much, just because I was scared of modifying someone else's, I guess, at the same time. that. It was just like, I'm just gonna use what they gave me and don't try to, you know, fix it in a way that might actually make sense. So my first one that I made really on my own was the paper style, with the Paper Mario style. So that one lasted, you know, up to now apparently. But it wasn't quite as good as it could be, so there's still like weird things in it that I would definitely want to change. And that led me into doing the, what was next? I guess the next one was the chibi style. So obviously I've used that up to the present. That one served me really well, because that's the first one that I felt like I can actually animate with this. Like, I didn't really have too many, like, oh man, I wish I knew how to, like, make this better or animate it better. That was the first one that I was like, I know how to make puppets. And it was like, I'm just gonna make something simple as possible, obviously, but also have enough feature-rich stuff that I can just go with it. You know, just, like, animate it really nicely with a pretty unique style as well. So that was the first one I was really happy with. Of course, now with the Paper Derpy movie, it's like I have to go back to a really not as happy style, technology-wise, with the puppets. So that's why I said, like, I'm starting to redesign some things. Like I said, that the leg style with the original one had like 2 parts to it, so it had an elbow in a sense, that it had an elbow pivot, that those were 2 parts. So now I'm deciding, like, I'm already, you know, I'm not too far into the movie quite yet, nearly a third of it into it, or somewhat, maybe a fifth. So I'm able to kind of just go in there and, like, kind of sneakily in the new one, kind of make it into one piece, and then add different drawing substitutions. And the drawing substitutions would look the same because it would be the 2 parts of the leg. So instead of having instead of just having one leg, or have it be in 2 parts, come on, like this, I would just put everything inside of a symbol for the new one, and then inside of there have frames of it being bent in different positions. So it'll have like different ones like that, or it could be going the other way, and there'll just be different frames. So it'll just have like either like shape tweens or like bop 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 as it rotates around. So, and I could just swap between those to make it simpler on my end. Basically what I want to do. So yeah. Good to see you. See you then. Oh, brown. Okay. Thank you. With Toon Movement, I'm seeing the benefits more. Because I had like a very like blind's eye of like, this isn't Flash at the beginning. Now it's like, this isn't Flash. Oh well. Like, I'm just like living with it now, rather than like trying to make it become Flash. I think it's a difference. So, whoop. Obviously that has to go in front of the hair in the head. That's gonna be interesting to figure that conundrum out. But it definitely like adds a little bit more flexibility that now I can do certain things that in Flash I would say like, oh, that's gonna be too hard, I better not do that. Just with the puppet rigging and puppet building parts, it's like, oh, I can, with the eyebrow thing, I would definitely not be able to do whatever this is. I don't even know how you would even describe that, where it's like, yeah, I'm gonna redraw it, where instead of having separate parts and trying to symbolize it or have it be in separate things, it's like, I'm just gonna have it be in separate layers on the drawing level, and then just have it be each layer of those be separate, and then and then layer it that way instead, but still be able to be like one drawing asset. And it's completely different than how I'm used to. That'd be more straight up. It just needs to be shorter. Usually a little trouble with how to draw these. Trying to draw like from references, tricky. Up, up. That should be good. So yeah. Now I'm seeing like, well, Flash, why don't you have, you know, certain things? And it's like, oh well, it would be nice if I could, you know, just use a curve deformer or like add these certain like weird contractions with the node view. So it's slightly beneficial in that way, but obviously it doesn't do everything. Or it's just like the infrastructure and just like how certain things operate is a little bit different. Especially with like the drawing tools that I'm not quite got exactly the hang of yet. Or how like you can't exactly just, I want to select the mouth right now. And it's like, well, that doesn't, well, maybe you have to be like in drawing mode onto it. And then you want to select, I don't know. Okay. I don't even know how to describe what I'm trying to have a problem with. That sometimes it seems like I can't click on certain aspects or it's hard. So obviously that works in some way, but obviously it's hard to reproduce it as a problem. So I don't know. Can't make my point always. Especially I don't understand it, how to even reproduce it in a way as well. Or sometimes you get locked in like you can only move one thing at a time, so it's hard to select one thing and then it doesn't allow you to click on the next thing. Or if it's like you're trying to animate something and you have to like select it in a way, like select it from either the timeline or the X sheet or like node view to be able to click it. So certain things like that kind of get in the way. Where like in Flash you could like select anything on the available symbols and then just go from there. But with this, has to be more deliberate. So it's like makes that a little bit tricky. Okay, that should do. Actually coming up on time, but that's okay. So I'll keep going. I'll go for maybe like another 10-20 minutes, I don't know. So I could just finish this. I think there's 5. So I got 2 done. This will be 3. So we're nearly there. How we doing? Oh man. Yeah, you gotta catch up. I'm using Toon Boom. Oh, awesome. Absolutely, the only like biggest thing with Toon Boom is that it has a very steep learning curve and a very steep price. They do have the trials, so if you wanna, who is it? Cookie? If you wanna learn it, there's a lot of references just because it's so complicated to learn. Is that, yeah, most of the advice, if you want to learn it, is don't really treat it as any other kind of software. It's really its own kind of a thing. It has similarities, but if your only similarity with me, you know, is Flash, that's like, this isn't Flash. This isn't Flash. This will never be Flash. This is, might be a replacement for Flash in a way, but it's not gonna, you know, solve any kind of thing that Flash really didn't do too well. Because at the end of the day, like, Flash was and still seems to be tailor-made for vector just drawing, basically. Like, it was never really meant to initially be an animation program, and that's kind of what kind of doomed it, and just from the start as well. That if your initial, like, proposal for this software is not exactly what it's going to be at the end, really, it's going to have a little hard time keeping up. Especially just the way that Adobe is really weird with how they just operate. That I actually learned recently, I think a couple days ago, that the Adobe Story, which was a script editing software, it's actually kaput. It's I tried signing into it, and it was like, hey, put in your Adobe account, and it's like, hey, I don't recognize you. How about we do a 2-step verification? And so, like, we'll give you an email, and if you agree to that, then maybe you know what I mean. You will get in. So, maybe I'll go to search time. I'll continue with the story though. Don't save that. So yeah. Thanks for watching. I'm gonna keep going with the thing for a little bit more, but that should be it for that. So thank you. Anyway, so Adobe had the script writing thing, which apparently not everyone knows about, and worked pretty well. It actually had a lot of like professional-ish, you know, those like writing a script for like a movie, you would want it to be formatted like a movie. The movie scripts are formatted in a way that's a little bit different than just writing a Word document. So it makes sense to have something that can automatically say like, oh, well, you're making a character, set it up, and then have it be in the middle, and then there's dialogue that's underneath it and format that. So it's really useful. Because I, in college, had to make a short movie. It was live action, so it was a little bit tricky to get my head around it, but we were able to use Adobe Story and like having to collaborate with each other with my classmates, and then work on that, and then basically just like work together to write the script. So we were able to use that, and that was really fun. But now the problem is that I guess apparently no one used it. Apparently they were using actual Flash, an action script or something weird, where instead of making their own deliberate coding thing to be able to write the scripting program, they apparently used Flash. I don't know exactly what it was, but it was definitely something. It doesn't work anymore, so apparently it doesn't matter, but but for them to just say, like, without really much warning, I didn't really know about it, that it was basically just terminated. That, yeah, I was like, hey, I actually have a new project that I need to, with the Midnight Mirrors, I was like, oh, I need to reformat that script to make it a little bit nicer, you know, to work with. And I was like, hey, I remember this scripting thing that was like, hey, I can reformat it with the scripting tools that they have. You know, I was like, oh yeah, that's all gonna work. And then I tried signing in and everything. I was like, it's not letting me in, even when I did the two-step verification thing and everything with the email. So it's just, yeah, it's just gone. Like, doesn't work or anything. So it's just like great. Like, not even Adobe is like gonna allow you to do certain things, even with their own products, is like, because like some other person wasn't able to use it well, or something happened, who knows, maybe it's less likely the Adobe lawsuit thing. I gotta put this on a new layer. Or that was a completely weird lawsuit. That Dolby, the audio company, apparently had trouble with Adobe using certain, that Adobe was using a loophole that Dolby was not happy with. I think the loophole was that the contract was for Dolby was, you can license the things, but it has to not be in, I want to get the Bob here, but it's not. Let me click on the Bob because they're exactly in the same place. Oh no. Move it over. There you go. Want to move that Bob. So Adobe had a lawsuit just because, like, Adobe was basically just doing a loophole to say, like, hey, well, we're not, because of the, I don't know how to describe this while doing this. Trying to think of lawyer speak and everything. That the, oh boy, the Adobe Creative Suite is licensing the Adobe software or whatever, and their stigma with Adobe's stigma was that it should only be allowed for one software at a time, but Adobe was using it for Creative Cloud in all of their softwares, or with the Creative Cloud, you know, that you can get more than one software at a time, or like be able to use it with the Creative Cloud. So yeah, I don't know if that's exactly relevant at all, but that was really hard to explain. But yeah, if stuff like that happens, I mean, I still love Adobe Premiere. That's my favorite video software, video editing software. So I tried DaVinci Resolve, which arguably is similar in vein to how Toon Boom, where it's more featured rich and more studio, you know, in mind. But I love Premiere. It's just like, it's simple and it just works. That's like great, you know. I just want to put some videos in and then kind of put it together and go boop, done, you know, and just kind of have the video thing, the audio mixing and everything, and have different channels, and it just like makes sense as like from a Flash user. That's like all these different layers. Oh, they make sense, you know. So, but yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, Premiere's great. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe if you find, you know, Cookie, if you think Premiere's bad, maybe you can try. Woohoo! Maybe you can try DaVinci Resolve. I wouldn't recommend it personally, just because it's like not my cup of tea. So it's like hard to. If someone had trouble with it, I wouldn't know any way to help resolve any of those issues. So I think this is weird, and I'll probably have to redraw it just because I don't like this, but that'll do for now. Here's what I mean. Trying to draw from references, like, it's hard to go. Okay. Okay. So now I should be able to do this. Bop, 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 bop. Let's get all these and see if there's a cycle button. Create cycle. Number of cycles. Let's do 2. Okay. So now if I do start here and then end here and then do loop. Yeah. Oh yeah, I should probably put it on 2s, but there has enough motion that now it kind of feels like a flap, so that's good. We'll have to redraw it a bit, but I think that'll do for now, just because that's good to do. Okay. Let's see. Okay, thanks Noe. Sorry I'm a little late on that. Let's see. Use Sony Vegas. I've heard so much about Sony Vegas, but I just never looked into it. I don't know if that would work for me or not. Let's see. Video looks cross between Vegas Premiere. Okay. Maybe I just heard of Vegas like in early 2000s. That's like it looked really lame. Then I'm not sure what it looks like now. Seven Smiles. I haven't heard of that. Is that you making a joke? I can't tell. Let's see. Let's stop it there. Let's get this out. So let's put it on 2s. Might actually be easier. Bop, 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 bop. Get rid of these. Unhook those. Might just be easier to just do this. Bop, bop. Boop, bop, bop, boop, bop, bop, boop, bop, bop. Did that work? No. Why not? What did it do? What did it do? I don't even know. I wasn't looking. So bop here. What? I made a dot. Why did it make a new frame? Is it still doing a cycle? I've never really done cycles yet, so this is freaking me out. What? No way. Like, can I like undo a cycle? Create cycle, undo a cycle. Stop the cycle. It's barely doing something weird. Bop. 1, 2, bop. That's what it's doing. It's doing something weird. Ah, no. Is that bad? I don't know how to undo it. Okay, well, that's another problem for another day. Oh no. What if I just get rid of it? If I just make anything else, does it freak out? No? What about down here? Okay, okay. There's a lot of learning to do here. Oh, now it broke. Okay. Wow. Woo. But also sometimes not. But sometimes yes. But sometimes no. Oof. Okay. Oh, that's the other one. There's two things here. Sorry, this is just weird. I'm trying to figure it out. No, it didn't loop. There. That's closer to what I want. Okay. I think there's another frame. I see. It's kind of reverse of this one. So we'll have to add that in as well. That'll do for now. Okay. How are we doing? Okay. That's not looping. That'll do. Okay, whatever. More things to fix. Great. Okay. How we doing? Here's a joke. Okay, cool. Range on it. Okay. Oh, like mortar and pestle? Something like that. Okay, cool. I was like, someone actually made a program called Slab and Style. That's having fun. Okay. Let me drink a bit. Okay. Let's wrap up. It's not much more to say. So, what else do we have to do? We did the eyelids. Eyelids work fairly well. Let's think. For the body, what do we need? Probably want to fix the wings. Probably just redraw it. I think we got enough to make it somewhat good. I think it is missing an in-between somewhere. Like when it goes up or downward? Probably downward or something. Let's see. Oh yeah, the legs, the way that I talked about it, where you can just have different frames. So drawing substitutions where it has different poses that then can be placed in and out and replaced, rather than having different joints of different parts. But we could still like rotate the entire arm, but then we won't be able to animate the elbow joint. But if we have enough parts, then it'll be as good, I think. Because what I've seen with the Pony Life animation, it seems like they're not using joints as too much. I mean, they do like very, very limited poses with their arms. But when they do different poses, it seems like a completely different redrawn arm that would not be possible with the existing arms, if that makes sense. We'll get into that eventually, but it seems like what they have is, let's see if this works. Is that for the legs they might have one that's that. Why does it do that? That's like this, but then like their next. Why does it do that? Why does it do that? Is that the next frame could have another shot might have something that's like this. I'm looking at a picture, and then it goes down, and then it goes over, and then like that, and then this goes down. So it's like this is not exactly possible with using this as a stock model. Even if you like cut it, you wouldn't be able to achieve this weird, like what you have on the right is like a shape like this, and then the leg being twisted around like that. So what you have is like two parts that are like that, which are not these two parts. So I imagine that they're not using the same part. Like this shape, if you like divided it up, would just be like this. It wouldn't be this weird shape like that. You might be able to, but it seems like maybe a little bit trickier. especially if they are using Flash, which I looked at the website for Boulder Media, and they have literally no information about anything. Like, the one thing they want you to know is that Boulder Media apparently worked on a Danger Mouse cartoon. I wonder if I can pick it up real quick. Is that... they have Pony Life for, like, one picture on, like, their Twitter? Boulder Media TV.com. Is that... whoop. Let's see if we don't get to anything. So their website, yeah. Is that Danger Mouse is basically on every page. I don't know why. There's Danger Mouse. So, and then Pony Life might be somewhere in one of these extra media things, but they're not on the banner at all. Boulder Media, for context, is the one that is animating the Pony Life animation. So, it just seems weird that they aren't advertising as much, or like say like even with their jobs, like what animation things they have is sometimes like 3D stuff. So you're from Ireland, but they don't really have too much about the 2D work, or even if they're using Toon Boom or Flash, or who even knows? It could be even the After Effects. I don't know. That is just like Danger Mouse is on every page. But yeah. Logging room show wheel. Okay. A whole bunch of stuff. It seems like they worked on the Rainbow Road Trip, and then some of the Crusher Girls shorts and stuff. Okay, so it seems like some of these are... like, Il Tigre was made in Flash, and Foster's Home was Flash. But like some of these other things, it's like, wait, they're from Toon Boom. So they did a Crusher Girls with that, yeah. Which this style would be Flash as well. So it seems like either a mix or not, and it's just like hard to tell. Hey, it's Danger Mouse, yay! So who even knows? So to get the information of whether or not what they're using, it seems weird. That's hard for me to know. So, but anyway, you can keep looking at that, but it's just, for me, it's like I don't see what you're doing. That they're from Ireland, so. Boulder Media got bought out. The cartoon studio got bought out by Hasbro, so they're only really available to make Hasbro cartoons now. Based on that buyout, so. It'd be based on whatever Hasbro is available to use, which apparently is Flash and Toon Boom, so it's hard to really tell right now. It's hard for me to look at and then be able to really pinpoint. Looking at Pony Life and watching the cartoons closely, it's hard to see if there's specific features that one program has or another, if that makes sense. So... because I'd be looking for like deformers and stuff. Like you could have like a deformer real quick on here. Let's add like a curve deformer. Boop boop. See how easy this is. Because now I have like a cool deformer that's like sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. You gotta be real careful. Shut these up. Yeah. Probably won't be playing with these because I haven't really seen too much use of it in Pony Life, so it's hard to say. Like, I'll be looking for something that can kind of curve around or something, or feel like it's one picture that's being morphed in a way like this that would only be possible with something like a feature like this. Flash has something almost similar, but it uses an actual mesh geometry like After Effects style, where it has puppet warp. It is different from this, where it has like a curve deformer, where the only axis you're able to move things around is this one curve. So I'd be looking for that, and I haven't really seen that to be able to exactly identify whether or not, and just based on our website as well, I'm not able to see. It's not on Wikipedia either, so it's hard to know whether or not. What even is this made in? What are you made of? What am I zooming in? Ah, there you go. Okay. Let's see. Maybe uses river bouncing. Even with that, it seems like they might be using like multiple parts rather than morphing one hair aspect, if that makes sense. Or they might be doing it frame by frame, which also would be more, in a way, easier. Most of the hair bounces and hair physics seem to be the same as G4. The G4 hair physics is more likely to be frame by frame, and then they just have a whole bunch of cycles or different frames for any kind of possible situation where the hair could be just a simple like whoosh whoosh up and down, or it could be just a nice subtle, or it could just have like different frames of the hair, just having different pictures of the hair to be in different positions, rather than having to transform the entire hair or morphing it in this case, which would not have been possible in G4 because that was made in Flash. So, only recently, like the newest version of Flash or Animate has the puppet warp that After Effects has, which is extreme memory hog, and it just like slows your computer down so much that it uses so much RAM, because it's like instead of just having like one curve, or you could have like different points in envelope deformers. The Flash one would like create an entire mesh, so we'd have like a some kind of square, and be like, oh okay, the puppet warp would say like, oh okay, well here's your different parts, and let me just create this whole geometry that then says like what it's made out of, and it's like, okay, well you have this anchor point here, which means that everything has to come out of there, like have another one here, and then we'll just have all these extra like parts that becomes these extra geometry that has to like move, and then it's like, okay, let me just move it, and then it's like using the other parts around it to not extremely distort things, but it's like all these extra little parts that it creates adds to the RAM, so it's like great, that doesn't really help as much. I really only used it. I used the puppet warp style in Flash for like one thing, and it was like a rope, because it's like, oh, it's just a rectangle, and it's just like a rope, and it had all these little lines on it that I drew into it, and so it's like, oh, I need an anchor point here and here, and then a couple down here, and so of course it was like onto it rather than being nice and simple or anything. With the geometry of it, and it's just like, well, let me just move this up, and it was like, okay, and everything else to like move around. So, well, with this I could just do it as I showed you, that it's just like, oh, it's a little bit simpler to just move this up and down. So that to say, like, this puppet warp mesh style is very weird. But if Pony Life had something like this that I could like pinpoint and see like they're using this style, then I can more likely attribute it to Flash. But the way that I see the hair is that they're either redrawing it or making new frames for it, or just using a cycle or previously drawn frame in a library sort of sense. So anyway, let's see. Yeah. Oh yeah, watch all those. Don't you green Fosters? Yes. Okay. Did I blow enough minds yet? Let's see. Yeah. For next time, for next week, there still is more stuff to do. What did I even do today? I don't even know. I just kind of moved the eyebrows up and then drew some wings. Talk about weird stuff. So next time we'll have to figure out what we want to do. So the things that in the body that do need to be figured out is getting the legs to figure out what method works, or would be the most screen accurate to how Bunalaf sort of works how they do it, is that they more likely, because of the way that this sort of sets up, is that it is being redrawn, so it isn't every time being one picture, which would be impossible to have like one picture and then try to do every pose possible. So it has to be a completely different picture. But whether or not this is able to animate, or if it's on two different pieces, like that, then that'll have to be examined as well. So excuse me of that. But yeah. And then getting the back legs, and maybe I would like to avoid doing a walk cycle just because they're not as hard as when I first started doing walk cycles. It's just like they're more work than anything else that I've kind of done so far. That's a bit big to say, but it's like it is a little bit tricky. That you have to draw at least about 12 different pictures for a good one. You could probably get rid of you could probably get away with like 4 maybe poses for like a limited sort of style. Do it. Save time. Exactly. But I'm more worried if the script and little animation that we'll make using these characters, whether or not we'll need it. Or I could try and just, if we need it, then I could just probably avoid it, or do the way that I usually do it is just use Derpy and then have her fly literally everywhere. So her movements and everything that she does, she doesn't really walk barely, just because I don't want to. My walk cycles I usually draw usually aren't very clean, and I'm such a perfectionist that it's like it's not good. So I just like I don't want to have people look at it. So yeah, so I got a flight cycle now, so I can definitely use that. So I want to prioritize doing the flight wing cycle, definitely. Walk cycle, I don't know. I mean, there's always as well as the horn magic thing, magic aura, like if a unicorn had to teleport something, which could be its own thing if we choose to do Twilight or something. Oh, that's pretty work, yeah, because we need, because Twilight's an alicorn, she'll need both horn and wings, so that'll work. Run cycle. Run cycle is actually simpler to the point that it's like it uses less frames. It's usually around maybe like 8 frames, just because it's a faster like to the it's just faster. It's a run cycle. So well, walk is kind of a beat to it. So every like 12 frames, it might like hit the ground. With one cycle, it's a little bit faster. So yeah. Yeah, it's embarrassing. It's not quite embarrassing. It's just like the perfectionist of it, like trying to be on the spot. Yeah, I guess. Imagine being a 6-frame or just a blob. Blob effect. Yeah, if I wasn't trying to do exactly screen accurate to how Pony Life is, then I probably would do maybe something like that. With the blob effect would be interesting. To make it accurate with Pony Life, I would have to definitely separate the outline from the color line, and then animate it, and then just take all the colors and then just kind of shift them over a little bit, because otherwise it'd be a little tricky. Because even with like the unicorn magic that I've seen, they do have the outline be shifted over from the outline, so it'd be weird. The blob effect, probably, I won't rule it out exactly, but it's probably to get it into the effort it would take to make something into a blob and then shape it into the same shape that I would want it to be would probably be more effort, I would say, than just hand drawing it, which I'd probably be more used to. I even did a magic cycle today for the Paper Derpy movie. There's a character that just like, I don't want to have this character just like hold a bunch of things. So I just made her a unicorn, and it's just like, oh, just get a hover and like move, telekinesis it. It's just like that's funner. Yeah, G4 has like some kind of gradient or inner gradients and like half alphas and so many like other effects to it that makes it seem like it's more than uh, just a flat, like you're just animating a couple frames, or you're just in between and then just making a blobby drawing effect. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's more blob than fire sparks. Yes, exactly. There are little tiny sparks. They're like little sprinkles in the yeah. Okay, yeah. To the curves, referring to the curves in it. To the blob, yeah, yeah. Um, I mean that's just being, just being good at just drawing. Or like sense of motion to keep things consistent and drawn in a way that, to the blob warbling effect, I guess. It would be just easier to just draw it. I mean, the simplest way that I find it is just to get a blob. So obviously you can't see your arm, but it's like just drawing it in a way that woo woo. And then you just draw an opposite one. I can't see the. What happened? Okay. So then you just draw it, and so you can see like how this one goes down. So I want to do the next one like up, and then it goes down. This is very low quality, but it's just like it gives you the sense that it's like, how does this work? Up. Is that I can just go like that. So all I did was just like reverse the shapes of the curve, and then it seems like it's lobbing it around. Obviously it's not perfect at all, but it just gives a sense that if you animate or like make this more smooth, it'll seem like it feels more blobby. So trying to get a effect or whatever that I'm not exactly sure what the actual thing would be to do it. Would just be more effort than just trying to go like, oh, I just need to, get this in between there, and just say like, oh, well, the in between would just be, whoa, whoa, to whatever is in between it there, and then it goes whoa, whoa, whoa. So, I guess like I'm just kind of getting good at just trying to draw that. It's like it'll be more fun to do it hand drawn. Yeah. Same too with like the walk cycle. You don't exactly need two legs, so like you can just have like one leg go up and down, and then have the other one be like half. If there's like 24 frames in a walk cycle, you could have one leg go up, down, and then go up, and then the other one, the back leg, would just need to be offset by like 12 frames, so it'd be like half of the timing. So it'll start at 1, the other one will start at 12, but it'll be the exact same, like whoop up down, and the other one will go whoop up down. So stuff like that. So little efficiency stuff like that, just making things. It's just thinking like how the simplest way to do it, which obviously was not in the exact mind of the person who decided that let's have the eyeballs be inside of symbols. So leave it with that. That is just like, don't be like this. This is the bad way. It makes sense that it's like, well, yeah, they're groups and their eyes are separate eyes. So maybe if you want to move the eyeball, if you want to rotate the head in 2D space, which I don't know, just have a new head. If you want it to be profile, draw a new head profile. Don't try to. So, lesson, just deconstruct things that you like, and figure out like things to see, like if limbs in a cartoon, like, do they bend? Look at that, see if you can deconstruct it in a way that makes it this kind of a schematic or diagram to determine like how do you make a curve around. Is it a curve? Is it like some kind of nice 2-point thing? Does it seem like it's actually being rotated on a pivot? Then it'd be this method, or it could just be like one leg that's just being posed in different positions. So But the flash way that trying to put these eyes inside of symbols, which I don't know if your animation with Double Rainbow was animated like this, but if it was, I can imagine it. Yeah, I can imagine how refreshing that would be. And why it would take. I don't know if it would take too long, but it would definitely add to like the couple years that it took to animate it. To animate Double Rainbow. That to do 6 layers of clickings in and outs to move the eyes is, yeah, that's insane. Of course, the way to simplify that is to break up these being symbols and basically just make them not be symbols. And then you just have more layers on the timeline, so it'll make the timeline even longer, but it means that you can go from the different eyeball and then go whoop, or even at the same time you can move both of them like this and go pop. So I'll put it back for my reference, but it'll just be so much simpler to not having these side symbols. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Okay, hopefully this was fun. Got more into like the diagrams and setting things up than actually progress on a horse, but I think that's more important than trying to get more progress on it. Obviously it'd take a little bit longer, so now we actually do the progress would be take a bit more time. But now we know more stuff, hopefully. If anything makes sense. Okay. Yeah, so next time we'll probably, keep working on this. Again, there's still lots of stuff to do, more than you'd think. Because it seems like, well, we have a horse. Like, what's wrong? Can't we just, animate it? And it's like, yeah, but the problem is that it'll be very, very limited from where we are now. Like, we won't be able to, we don't have a horn, the wings are weird. It won't be able to really move its leg more than, just rotating it. So it can't exactly seem very realistic right now. The mouths have just enough to be able to get a little crazy with the smiles. So we're not able to get a full list of that. Some eyebrows could be also adjusted. Adding more of these could have like a nice sad curved eyebrow. Maybe another type of cheek. Maybe something with more detail. Maybe even like a nose scrunch. Who even knows? There's like so many more possibilities that we could add onto it. But just for the basics, it seems like we just need a touch more to get really dangerous with it. So for right now, it seems like we could make it basically just kind of like talk for like a little bit and then kind of blink and kind of just stand there. So for where I wanted to put it, where I want her to be, is a little bit more detailed. So I'll keep working on it. I don't know how much I'll do in between, because obviously it's more fun to do it on stream, because it's like a dedicated time to work on it, because I'm busy with everything else. It's been a rough couple of days trying to get everything going. Yeah, so okay, sleep schedule is so messed up. But hopefully you guys are doing good. Okay, thank you. I will sign off and see you next week. Thank you. Okay, till then, see ya. Bye. Bye.